Hello, I'm David Chavarria, a real estate and loan broker in the states of Texas and Florida. Since 2005, we help hundreds of buyers acquire and manage their real estate investments. My job is to identify and promote high-yield properties. What will I explain in this video? In this video presentation, I will explain the direct benefits of purchasing a property at Vida-Edgewater. We will go in detail on all the benefits of owning a FlexShare property. We will talk about how owners will have control of the building with more benefits when managing their units. Having a hotel operator for greater global reach. We will also discuss how FlexShare will allow you to make a better use of the property space. Lastly, in the section where we'll spend most of the video, we explain the positive impact on cash flow with FlexShare properties. Owners will have control of the building with more benefits when managing their units. Vida is the first condo-hotel project in Miami where owners will have full control of the amenities. The building will have a single association management with a fee directly managed by the owners. The owner will enjoy the full services of a luxury hotel for managing their unit if they so desire. A hotel operator for greater global reach. Vida-Edgewater will benefit from the hospitality management experience of its developer, with a wide hotel portfolio across the United States. The advantage of a hotel is its reach, being able to spread across all short-term rental and hotel platforms worldwide. This will ensure higher occupancy rates and the highest market rates. FlexShare allows you to make better use of property space. With our FlexShare system, you can divide 2-bedroom units into 2 apartments, 1 luxury 1-bedroom and a studio. Three-bedroom units can be divided into 2 models, a 2-bedroom apartment and a studio. Another more luxurious model can be divided into 3 units. A large 1-bedroom luxury apartment, a junior 1-bedroom apartment, and a studio. Statistics show that smaller properties not only have higher occupancy rates, but also charge higher rental rates per square foot. Finally, we explain the positive impact on cash flow with a FlexShare property. For the following explanation, we'll use a tool from our property management department. We have updated the tool to calculate profitability of multifamily units to work with the 2- and 3-bedroom units at Vida-Edgewater. Let me just quickly read the following disclaimer. This Excel table cannot be used to make purchase decisions about any real estate project. This is an educational Excel table only. DCH Florida Real Estate, known as DCH Real Estate and DCH Property Management, does not warrant the information described in this Excel table. As a courtesy, DCH Property Management will provide this Excel tool to channel's followers in exchange for the support by subscribing, liking, and leaving a comment below. We also advise viewers to consult a professional before making any investment decision after learning how to make these calculations. All right, the goal of this explanation, in addition to showing how to calculate this profit, is to convey the additional advantage that can only be obtained with this product by generating cash flow with the FlexShare system, even after combining it with a loan. Before we begin this tutorial, it is important to highlight that the projected fees and returns here are fictitious values based on pure speculations at the time of this recording. No one can predict the real return of a product not yet available. You will see and understand the purpose of this tutorial during the explanation. Please stay until the end to understand. To do this, we'll review the same calculation with the same property in different scenarios. 1. A projection made with the fully paid 3-bedroom property. 2. A projection of the same property divided into 3. 3. Projection of a property divided into 3 using a loan. And 4. A projection of the same property using a long-term rental. First, let's explain how our calculation table works. We have sections where the first section shows the property and financial information, where we have the property price, type, size, and association or HOA fees, as well as the loan section currently disabled. Then we have the income calculation section, where this time we'll use a daily rental rate of $950 for the entire 3-bedroom luxury apartment where up to 12 people can comfortably stay. We will have other tutorials on how to find these rates, and we recommend conducting your own studies. We'll use an 85% occupancy rate this time. We'll adjust this number at the end of the explanation. We continue with the property manager fee in case you use the hotel services. This expense is safe, of course, if you manage the property yourself. On the other side, we have a percentage used by the banks to calculate property tax paid annually. This is the asset value, which is usually lower than the actual value. Then we have the expenses section with the monthly expenses on the left and the annual expenses on the right. Here we include taxes, the property manager's fee, property insurance, air conditioning and maintenance, utilities like electricity, rental commission, an accountant for legal advisor's fee, and finally the HOA fee calculated multiplying the property size by the per square foot rate. Finally, we calculate net income subtracting expenses from the gross income. We divide the annual net income by the investment made in cash to give us the return on the investment, in this case 7%. Now that we understand how this table works, let's review the same data in different scenarios. Now let's see how the calculations work with the same values, but now in FlexShare mode, where we divide the property into 3. We assign a daily rate of $450 to the larger luxury 1-bedroom unit, $400 to the junior 1-bedroom, and $350 to the studio, all with the same occupancy as the first scenario. We'll play with these values at the end of the presentation. Notice how the return on the investment increases from 7% to 10%. Now, what if we apply a loan in this scenario? At the time of this video, the developer was promoting the purchase of luxury 3-bedroom condos that can be divided into 3 with only 30% down payment. In this case, our cash investment would be 30% and the bank would lend us a difference. We'll use 8% purchase interest rate, considering that this is a residential condo where interest rates are more competitive in the market. Notice how we now have a monthly principal and interest of $10,000. We add this amount to our monthly and annual expenses, concluding with an annual net income of $65,970, which we now divide by our cash investment, which is no longer the total purchase price, but only $885,000. This way, we summarize how we could acquire property worth almost $2 million with $885,000, which is the price of a 1-bedroom apartment in the area and have access to a luxury 3-bedroom condo. In this scenario, we observe how we go from a 7% to an 11% return on investment with an investment lower than the purchase price. Of course, this can vary depending on many factors, but at the end, this is a vehicle to maximize cash flow, which is what we want to demonstrate in this tutorial. Now, let's also see what would happen in this same scenario if we reduce the interest rate slightly to 7%. Then we see how our return goes from 11% to 13%. Now, you might be wondering if you could still have the option of long-term renting. And the answer is yes. Although we know the long-term rental might not be profitable in the area, the option exists. In this calculation, we use a monthly rent of $9,000. I will let you or your specialized agent conduct a proper research. Now, before we conclude this tutorial, let's play with calculations in different scenarios. 79% occupancy. We'll reduce the occupancy to 79%. Notice how in this scenario of daily rental of the entire property, the return drops to 6%. In the FlexShare model, it increases to 9%. And with a loan, it could reach 10%, in addition, of course, to having the option to acquire more properties since you haven't used all the funds. We also mentioned the long-term rental option we presented earlier. Now, let's be more conservative and lower it to 69% occupancy, something that could be easy to achieve even for an owner. 69% occupancy. In this case, if fully paid, the return would drop to 5%. In the FlexShare model, it would be 7%, and with a loan, it would also drop to 5%. However, we mentioned that this occupancy is the ideal for an external property manager, where we know that their fees vary and it could drop to 20%. Now, would you like to know what would happen with the same values if you manage a property yourself? Usually, in these scenarios, there are certain commissions that must be paid, such as Airbnb 3%, or perhaps a travel or real estate agent 3 to 5%. For this reason, we'll assume a 5% management fee. Notice how now the return is 8% in a daily rent of the entire condo. In the FlexShare model, it rises to 11%, and with a loan, in the same scenario, it will reach 18%. Again, we know that the long-term rental option would be at 1%. This way, we could continue playing with these calculations, the daily rent rate, and even with fewer and more deposits at the time of the purchase. Please let us know if you have any questions by calling our sales center or registering here so one of the agents can contact you as soon as possible.